If you're over 60, listen closely, because right now, there's a dangerous type of fat sitting deep inside your belly that's quietly poisoning your body from the inside out. According to scientists at Harvard Medical School, this isn't your normal pinchable belly fat. This is visceral fat, a toxic layer that wraps around your organs and releases over 400 harmful chemicals into your bloodstream every single day. Yeah, you heard that right. 400. But here's where it gets wild. In one shocking clinical trial, older adults who followed a specific, doctor-approved routine were able to slash their visceral fat by up to 73% in just 30 days. And they didn't go on crazy diets or torture themselves at the gym. The study tracked 1,047 participants between the ages of 60 and 75. The results were so unbelievable that researchers literally had to double-check their measurements 3 times. Now, I know what you might be thinking. I've had this belly for years. Nothing works anymore. But trust me, this is not that kind of story. This hidden fat is what experts call the silent killer. It hides deep beneath the surface, squeezing your organs, slowing your metabolism, and triggering heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and even memory decline. Dr. Samuel Klein from Washington University revealed something that'll blow your mind. Losing just 5% of visceral fat can add up to 7 extra years to your life. 7 years, just by trimming that inner fat. Here's the silver lining. Visceral fat is easier to target than you think. And surprisingly, your age gives you an advantage. See, after 60, your body becomes more responsive to certain metabolic triggers, if you know how to use them correctly. What you're about to learn isn't some trendy diet or overpriced supplement. These are science-backed, evidence-based strategies designed to help your body burn fat naturally, the same way your metabolism worked in your younger years. We'll break down the exact foods, habits, and morning routines that activate your body's hidden fat-burning mechanism. And here's the kicker. The most powerful fat-melting trigger of all has nothing to do with food or exercise. A groundbreaking 2023 study from the University of Copenhagen found that participants who used this one simple technique, which you can start tonight, lost 42% more visceral fat than those who didn't. So before we dive in, drop a quick comment below. Tell us your age and where you're watching from. We read every single one because this channel is about you, your health, your energy, and your second chance at living life strong and lean after 60. Now, let's get started, because what you'll discover in the next few minutes might just change how you age forever. Let's get rolling with number 5, strategic protein timing for metabolic activation. Now, if you're over 60, this is where things start to get really interesting, because your relationship with protein isn't the same as it was when you were 30 or 40. Your body changes, your hormones shift, and your metabolism, well, it doesn't exactly play nice anymore. Here's the kicker, though. Most seniors are getting their protein completely wrong, and it's actually causing more visceral fat to build up instead of burning off. A landmark study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition revealed something eye-opening. Adults over 60 need 25 to 30 grams of protein per meal to fully trigger something called muscle protein synthesis. That's your body's natural process of repairing and building muscle tissue. Now, why does that matter for your belly fat? Because every single pound of lean muscle burns about 50 calories per day, just sitting there doing nothing. Meanwhile, a pound of fat? That lazy stuff only burns 2 calories. Yeah, 2. So if you're losing muscle with age, which most people are, your metabolism tanks, and your body starts storing more visceral fat around your organs. In one long-term clinical trial, scientists tracked 387 older adults for 6 months. The group that hit their protein goals consistently at each meal, not just dinner, lost 23% more visceral fat than those who ate the same total amount of protein, but scattered it unevenly throughout the day. Let that sink in. It's not just how much protein you eat, it's when you eat it that makes all the difference. See, after 60, your body becomes less sensitive to protein signals. So to really activate that metabolic switch, you've got to hit that threshold every few hours. And here's the golden rule: never skip morning protein. Your body has been fasting all night. Cortisol, that belly fat hormone, is elevated. And if you don't give your body enough protein right after waking, it starts breaking down your muscle tissue for energy, which slows down your metabolism even more. So, what should breakfast look like? Simple, start strong. Go for eggs, Greek yogurt, or a protein smoothie that delivers at least 25 grams of protein within the first hour after waking. If you're a smoothie fan, here's a quick combo that works wonders. Blend a scoop of whey or plant-based protein, a handful of spinach, berries, and a spoonful of flaxseed. You'll fuel your muscles, stabilize your blood sugar, and switch your metabolism into fat-burning mode before your day even begins. For lunch and dinner, think palm-sized portions: fish, chicken breast, lean beef, or plant-based options like lentils, quinoa, or a hearty bean chili. The goal is to center your plate around protein first. Then fill in with colorful veggies and healthy carbs. Dr. Douglas Patton-Jones from the University of Texas Medical Branch confirmed this with another groundbreaking study. This protein timing habit increased the resting metabolic rate by 14% in adults over 60. That means you're burning more calories while watching TV, folding laundry, or even taking your afternoon nap. But here's where most people trip up. They eat a light breakfast, maybe toast or cereal, a tiny salad for lunch, and then try to make up for it at dinner with a big steak or chicken breast. Sound familiar? Unfortunately, this pattern backfires because your body can only use so much protein at once. Everything else? It's wasted potential. That's why it's so important to spread your protein intake evenly across the day, 3 to 4 times. That rhythm keeps your metabolism humming and your muscle tissue protected, which is the key weapon against visceral fat. And if you want to make it easy, plan ahead. Cook your proteins in batches every Sunday. Grill some chicken, boil some eggs, prep your beans, so you've always got quick grab-and-go options. Because when you're hungry and tired, that's when the cereal box starts calling your name. Remember, this isn't just about losing fat. It's about reclaiming your strength, balance, and independence. The kind of vitality that lets you play with your grandkids, take long walks with confidence, and feel like your old self again. So, make protein your #1 priority, not an afterthought, because every meal is a chance to flip that metabolic switch back on and take another step toward a leaner, stronger, and more energized you. Now we're stepping into something that even seasoned researchers didn't see coming. #4, temperature manipulation for brown fat activation. Yep, this one's going to sound a little unusual, but hang with me because it could be a total game changer for anyone over 60 trying to shrink visceral fat fast. See, your body actually has 2 types of fat, and knowing the difference between them might just revolutionize your metabolism. You've got white fat, the kind that stores energy. That's the stubborn stuff we all want to lose, especially around the belly. And then you've got brown fat, your hidden metabolic powerhouse. Unlike white fat, brown fat burns calories to generate heat and keep your body warm. Now, here's the exciting part. A groundbreaking study from MRI. The university discovered that people over 60 who exposed themselves to mild cold temperatures for just 2 hours a day saw their brown fat activity skyrocket by 45% and reduce their visceral fat by nearly 19% in just 4 weeks. Crazy, right? But the best part is, it doesn't require anything extreme. No ice baths, no torture-level cold plunges. Researchers simply had participants lower their home thermostat to 66 degrees Fahrenheit for 2 hours each evening while wearing light clothing. That's it. That mild temperature change was enough to wake up their brown fat, forcing it to burn white fat for fuel. And guess what it burned first? Visceral fat, the dangerous stuff wrapped around your liver, pancreas, and heart. And here's why this is such a big deal. As we age, our brown fat tends to go dormant. It's like an old furnace that hasn't been turned on in years. But this mild cold exposure reactivates those brown fat cells even in adults over 70. Imagine your body's own internal heater kicking back into gear, melting away the fat that's been sitting there for decades. But that's not all. Researchers found another sneaky trick that boosts the effect even more. You don't need to freeze your whole body or just end your hot shower with 30 seconds of cool water. Not icy, just noticeably cooler than comfortable. That short temperature change activated brown fat for up to 4 hours afterward. So, if you combine the cool shower technique with the evening thermostat drop, the results multiply dramatically. In fact, participants who used both methods lost 31% more visceral fat than those who only did one. Now, here's a little biohack bonus. Drink a glass of cold water every 2 hours throughout the day. Japanese researchers discovered that this alone makes your body burn an extra 100 calories daily because it has to warm that water to body temperature. That's like getting a mini workout without even leaving your chair. Timing also matters here. The ideal window for cold exposure is between 6 and 8 p.m. That's when your body's core temperature naturally starts to drop. Doing it then syncs with your circadian rhythm, boosting fat-burning effects while you sleep. Pretty neat, huh? You'll literally burn visceral fat overnight. And don't worry, you don't need to jump into the deep end on day one. Start small. Just lower the temperature a couple of degrees for 15 minutes, then gradually build up to 2 hours over the course of 2 weeks. You'll notice your tolerance improving. Your body becomes more efficient, your energy steadier, and your sleep deeper. You might even start waking up feeling lighter, more refreshed, and more alert. All signs that your brown fat is back in action. And this isn't just about looking slimmer, it's about feeling stronger, staying independent, and keeping that spark alive well into your golden years. Before we move to the next tip, if you're loving this information, take a quick second. Hit that like button so more seniors can find this life-changing content. And subscribe to the channel Mind&Muscles. We're dropping brand new, science-backed senior health tips every single day. And trust me, you don't want to miss the next one, because up next, we're diving into the third strategy, and this one, it's the real powerhouse move for melting visceral fat without dieting or hitting the gym. Stay tuned, it only gets better from here. All right, let's move on to number 3, time-restricted feeding with metabolic windows. Now, this one right here might just flip everything you thought you knew about eating, especially if you're over 60 and trying to get rid of that stubborn belly fat that just doesn't seem to budge. See, most folks spend years worrying about what to eat, counting calories, cutting carbs, avoiding fats. But new science says it's not just what you eat. It's when you eat that can make or break your ability to burn visceral fat after 60, a stunning study from the Salk Institute revealed that seniors who restricted their meals to an 8 to 10 hour eating window burned 47% more visceral fat than those who ate the exact same calories spread out over the day. Let that sink in. Same food, same calories. The only difference? Timing. This isn't your typical skip breakfast, intermittent fasting. Nope. This is strategic eating that works with your body's natural circadian rhythm, the internal clock that controls your metabolism, hormones, and fat-burning cycles. The study followed 516 adults aged 60 to 78 for 12 weeks, and the results shocked even the researchers. Participants who ate all their meals between 9 a.m. and 7 p.m. saw massive drops in visceral fat, improved insulin sensitivity, and more stable energy throughout the day. Here's why this works so well after 60. When you give your body a solid 14 hours overnight without food, your metabolism switches gears from burning glucose, sugar, to burning stored fat for energy. And the fat it burns first? You guessed it, visceral fat, the dangerous kind wrapped around your organs. Dr. Sachin Panda, the lead researcher, found something even more incredible. This eating pattern triggers autophagy, your body's cellular cleaning mode. Think of it like spring cleaning for your insides. Your body literally breaks down and removes old, dysfunctional fat cells clogging up your organs, and the participants didn't even change what they ate. They just ate within a window, but here's where most people mess up. They try to jump straight into a tight window too fast. That can backfire, raising your stress hormones and actually increasing visceral fat storage. So, if you're starting fresh, begin easy. Try a 12-hour window, say 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. for the first week. Then shorten it by 30 minutes each week until you're comfortably in that 10-hour range. During your eating hours, go for 3 balanced meals. not constant grazing. Every snack spikes insulin, and high insulin equals more fat storage, especially in the belly. Now, here's the insider trick. Start your day strong. Your first meal should be rich in protein and healthy fats to prevent muscle loss and stabilize blood sugar. End light. Finish dinner at least 3 hours before bed. That's when your body's growth hormone naturally kicks in. And that hormone is a visceral fat burner. In fact, seniors who followed this exact meal timing saw a 34% increase in growth hormone and a major acceleration in visceral fat loss, all while sleeping better and waking up more energized. And don't worry, you won't be starving between meals. During fasting hours, you can still enjoy black coffee, herbal tea, or water. They don't break your fast and can actually boost your metabolism slightly. So remember, it's not about starving yourself. It's about timing your fuel so your body works smarter, not harder. And the best part? You'll start noticing results within weeks. Flatter belly, fewer sugar crashes, better sleep, and sharper focus. Now buckle up, because our second most powerful method builds on everything we've covered so far, but takes it to another level. This next one doesn't just shrink visceral fat. It reprograms your metabolism to stay lean for life. All right, let's move on to number 3, time-restricted feeding with metabolic windows. Now, this one right here might just flip everything you thought you knew about eating, especially if you're over 60 and trying to get rid of that stubborn belly fat that just doesn't seem to budge. See, most folks spend years worrying about what to eat, counting calories, cutting carbs, avoiding fats. But new science says it's not just what you eat. It's when you eat that can make or break your ability to burn visceral fat. After 60, a stunning study from the Salk Institute revealed that seniors who restricted their meals to an 8 to 10 hour eating window burned 47% more visceral fat than those who ate the exact same calories spread out over the day. Let that sink in. Same food, same calories. The only difference? Timing. This isn't your typical skip breakfast intermittent fasting. Nope. This is strategic eating that works with your body's natural circadian rhythm, the internal clock that controls your metabolism, hormones, and fat-burning cycles. The study followed 516 adults aged 60 to 78 for 12 weeks, and the results shocked even the researchers. Participants who ate all their meals between 9 a.m. and 7 p.m. saw massive drops in visceral fat, improved insulin sensitivity, and more stable energy throughout the day. Here's why this works so well after 60. When you give your body a solid 14 hours overnight without food, your metabolism switches gears from burning glucose, sugar, to burning stored fat for energy. And the fat it burns first? You guessed it, visceral fat. The dangerous kind wrapped around your organs. Dr. Sachin Panda, the lead researcher, found something even more incredible. This eating pattern triggers autophagy, your body's cellular cleaning mode. Think of it like spring cleaning for your insides. Your body literally breaks down and removes old dysfunctional fat cells clogging up your organs, and the participants didn't even change what they ate. They just ate within a window, but here's where most people mess up. They try to jump straight into a tight window too fast. That can backfire, raising your stress hormones and actually increasing visceral fat storage. So, if you're starting fresh, begin easy. Try a 12-hour window, say 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. for the first week. Then shorten it by 30 minutes each week until you're comfortably in that 10-hour range. During your eating hours, go for 3 balanced meals, not constant grazing. Every snack spikes insulin, and high insulin equals more fat storage, especially in the belly. Now, here's the insider trick. Start your day strong. Your first meal should be rich in protein and healthy fats to prevent muscle loss and stabilize blood sugar. End light. Finish dinner at least 3 hours before bed. That's when your body's growth hormone naturally kicks in. And that hormone is a visceral fat burner. In fact, seniors who followed this exact meal timing saw a 34% increase in growth hormone and a major acceleration in visceral fat loss, all while sleeping better and waking up more energized. And don't worry, you won't be starving between meals. During fasting hours, you can still enjoy black coffee, herbal tea, or water. They don't break your fast and can actually boost your metabolism slightly, So remember, it's not about starving yourself. It's about timing your fuel so your body works smarter, not harder. And the best part? You'll start noticing results within weeks. Flatter belly, fewer sugar crashes, better sleep, and sharper focus. Now buckle up, because our second most powerful method builds on everything we've covered so far, but takes it to another level. This next one doesn't just shrink visceral fat, it reprograms your metabolism to stay lean for life. Now we're stepping into the second most powerful method for burning stubborn belly fat after 60. And honestly, this one blew researchers away. Number 2, targeted soluble fiber loading with prebiotics. See, this isn't your average eat more veggies advice. This is about using specific types of soluble fiber that can literally force your body to burn visceral fat. Especially for adults over 60, scientists at Wake Forest Baptist Medical Center made a discovery that could completely change how we approach belly fat after midlife. They found that for every 10 grams of soluble fiber consumed daily, participants lost an average of 3.7% of visceral fat over 5 years. But here's the jaw-dropper. When those same participants combined soluble fiber with specific prebiotics, their visceral fat dropped by 8.4% in just 3 months. That's not a typo. 5 years versus 3 months. So, what's happening here? The key lies in how soluble fiber interacts with your metabolism and gut bacteria, two systems that become slower and less efficient as we age. Soluble fiber forms a gel-like substance in your gut that slows down glucose absorption. This keeps your insulin steady, and as you may know, insulin is the hormone that tells your body to store fat, especially visceral fat. But that's only half the magic. The other half comes from what your gut bacteria do with this fiber. When soluble fiber reaches your colon, it feeds good bacteria that produce short-chain fatty acids like butyrate. And butyrate is a game changer. It tells your body to burn visceral fat for fuel instead of storing it. In fact, the Wake Forest study showed that participants with higher butyrate levels had 51% less visceral fat, regardless of their overall weight or diet. So what are the best sources? While foods like oats, apples, and beans are good, researchers found that one fiber source stood head and shoulders above the rest. Konjac root, also known as glucomannan, just 3 grams before meals reduced visceral fat by 12% in 8 weeks. It's available as a supplement or naturally in shirataki noodles, which you can find in most grocery stores. Here's the trick. Take it 30 minutes before your biggest meal with a full glass of water. This allows it to expand, slow digestion, and create the perfect internal environment for fat burning. Coming in second place was ground flaxseed. 2 tablespoons daily reduced visceral fat by 9%. But you must use freshly ground flaxseed, or buy it pre-ground and store it in the fridge to preserve the active compounds. Timing matters too. Taking soluble fiber with protein enhances fat burning by up to 40%, because the amino acids help stabilize blood sugar and further boost butyrate production. Here's the optimal daily fiber protocol the researchers recommend. Morning, 1 tablespoon of ground flaxseed in your protein shake. Lunch, 3 grams of glucomannan or shirataki noodles before your meal. Dinner, 1 cup of cooked beans or lentils. This setup creates 3 distinct waves of visceral fat-burning activity throughout the day. Morning, afternoon, and night, and don't skip the prebiotics, because they're the secret partners in this system. Foods like Jerusalem artichokes, garlic, and onions dramatically boost the population of fat-burning bacteria in your gut. In fact, in the study, participants who ate just 1 Jerusalem artichoke or 2 cloves of garlic daily showed a 27% increase in beneficial gut bacteria within 2 weeks. The takeaway: you're not just burning fat, you're reprogramming your metabolism at the gut level to prefer visceral fat as fuel. And that's why this method works so well even in your 60s and 70s. It's gentle, natural, and works with your body instead of fighting against it. Now, we've reached the moment you've been waiting for, the #1 most powerful method that outperformed everything else in the research. It doesn't just target visceral fat, it resets your entire metabolism from the inside out. And now, the moment we've all been waiting for, The #1 most powerful science-backed method that outperformed everything else for shrinking visceral fat after 60. And the best part? It doesn't require dieting, supplements, or even exercise. #1, controlled breathing with vagus nerve activation. Yes, you heard that right. The simple act of breathing, when done the right way, can switch your body from fat-storing mode to fat-burning mode in minutes. Researchers at the University of Copenhagen made this groundbreaking discovery when they found that a specific breathing technique activated the vagus nerve, leading to a massive reduction in visceral fat, especially in adults over 60. The study followed 892 participants aged 60 to 79 who practiced this breathing exercise for just 15 minutes twice daily. And the results were mind-blowing. Those who used the breathing technique lost 42% more visceral fat than those who didn't, despite eating and exercising the exact same way. So, what makes this so powerful? Let's break it down. This technique works by targeting the vagus nerve, a major communication highway between your brain and your organs. It regulates your metabolism, stress hormones, digestion, and fat storage signals. When your vagus nerve is calm and active, your body naturally switches into a rest and digest state, where it burns fat for energy instead of storing it. But when it's underactive, often due to chronic stress, poor sleep, or aging, your cortisol levels rise, triggering your body to store more fat around the organs. That's why this method is a game changer after 60. It directly resets the stress-fat connection at its root. Here's exactly how to do it. Inhale through your nose for a slow count of 4. Hold your breath for 7 counts. Exhale gently through your mouth for 8 counts. Repeat this cycle continuously for 15 minutes. But here's the crucial detail most people miss. Place one hand on your chest and the other on your belly. Make sure only your belly moves. That's called diaphragmatic breathing, and it's what stimulates the vagus nerve. Dr. Mark Mattson from Johns Hopkins University discovered that activating this nerve releases acetylcholine, a neurotransmitter that tells visceral fat cells to release their stored energy. In other words, it flips your fat-burning switch on. Timing also matters. Doing your first session immediately after waking reduces cortisol by up to 37% in just 15 minutes, according to the Copenhagen data. That means you're literally turning off your body's fat storage signal before breakfast. The second session, ideally between 3 and 5 p.m., prevents the natural afternoon cortisol spike, the one responsible for that stubborn belly bloat many seniors notice after lunch. Participants who followed this twice-daily pattern not only lost inches off their waistlines, an average of 4.2 inches in just 30 days, but also improved insulin sensitivity by 23% and lowered inflammatory markers, linked to heart disease by 31%. And what's even more fascinating, many reported that after 2 weeks, their bodies automatically slipped into a calm, fat-burning rhythm as soon as they started breathing. No effort, no stress. This method works independently of diet and exercise, but when combined with the previous 4 strategies, protein timing, cold exposure, time-restricted feeding, and targeted fiber loading, the results were nothing short of transformational. MRI scans showed that most of the fat loss occurred deep inside the abdomen, where visceral fat hides and damages your organs. So, if you're ready to begin your transformation, start with this breathing method. It's simple. It's free, and it delivers immediate stress and metabolic benefits. Then, add 1 new strategy each week: protein timing, meal windows, fiber optimization, and temperature therapy to compound your results naturally. Remember, the path to reclaiming your health after 60 isn't about perfection. It's about consistency and sending your body the right signals every day. Because even after 60, your body remains incredibly capable of change. It just needs the right triggers. And these 5 methods provide exactly that. So, before you go, tell us in the comments. Have you noticed more weight shifting to your belly as you've aged, even if your habits haven't changed? What's been the biggest surprise about how your body feels after 60? We love reading your stories, and your experiences help inspire others who are on the same journey. Thank you for watching, and remember, Your body is never too old to heal, burn fat, and thrive again.